This is Frank again, working on a 53 here in my shop. I lengthened this frame because I had a short wheelbase frame, so I took a code 504 kit and lengthened the frame. If you remember, if you watched the early videos on this thing, and so I made it 118 inches, which everybody said that's better because it moves the wheels, the tires back in the wheel well. And originally from the factory, the tires are tucked up too far forward, and so I thought that'd center them. Well, basically what happened was when I got this all mocked up, the wheels and tires were too far back. If I put the bed where it's centered on the wheel well better, I had about 2-inch gap between the cab and the bed, and I didn't like that look. So I went ahead and moved the bed forward, and so now I've moved the axle forward, and the way I did that was I wanted it lowered so it would be more level. So now it is level. It sits level, and I centered the wheels. So I'll show you kind of how I did that. But anyway, I lowered it 2 inches, and when I lowered it, I moved blocks forward. I machined on the back of the block where it sits, it locates itself on the bolt that holds the springs together, and so that's how I positioned it, and then took measurements from the front to the back to be sure everything's lined up. So that has this truck now sitting the way I want it, level, still springs, no air or anything. I was able to put hook the shocks back up without moving the shock pin, even though I moved everything 2 inches forward. But and they seem to be operating. I won't know whether I need maybe a little longer shock till I get maybe riding down the road. I'm not sure, but it seems like everything's working good. Springs real good. So as best I can tell, moving that axle forward on the spring did two things. From the front pivot on the spring to the rear end, that part of the spring generally handles the torque of the car, and then from the rear end back to the shackle on the spring is the spring on the car. It kind of controls the spring. So basically, by moving it forward, I should have increased the torque, and that might make it turn flatter. I don't know what it's going to do, the drivability of it yet, but I'll definitely talk about that when I'm out driving it. But right now, that's what has been done to it. So it's moved forward. The alignment for it is similar to the old alignment. I just machined a new spot for the bolt on the spring, and used that as the alignment, and then put the lowering, with the lowering blocks in it. So the lowering blocks are cut, and it looks like the pinion angle is correct to align with the transmission pinion, or back of the transmission. So those two need to be parallel. So I think this is about a 3 degrees positive and maybe about a 3 degree positive. I just hadn't measured that yet on the front. I may have to do a little adjusting there to shimming to get the pinion angle just right. but the stance is what I want. It's exactly where I want it. I put a level on here and it's perfectly level, so I don't know what it'll do once I get a cab on there and front end. It may not be level anymore, but anyway, it's hard to calculate for me anyway. Since the car pivots off the front spindles, and you want to go down, and you go down 2 inches here, you know, what does that do to the rest of the car? But it's level anyway, and I like that. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how I did that, and I'm also working on my headlight buckets. So I'm putting new headlights in it, and I'm having to rebuild the buckets and rebuild the holders and adjustments, put new parts and stuff in that, and that's what will be in this video. So if you're interested in that, just keep watching, and I'll be back in a minute. I'm working on my light buckets. These of course came out of the old rusty truck, and I basically did the same thing to these that I did to everything else. I just brushed it off, put a rust in it, converter on it, and then painted them. This particular one on this side was in good shape. Spring's in good shape. The little piece at the top that you put a screw in to hold the trim on is in good shape. So this one, all I did was clean it, paint it, and buy new adjustment screws for it. And this one's a little different. This one, the piece that holds that you put the screw in to hold the trim on was broke off, so I ground off the rivets, took it out, whoops, and bought another one. They do make them, repairs. So they set 2 screws to put this together with. I assume from the back into here, that's the way it looks like. And I could do that, but I'm hard-headed, so I do things different. So I took, and it had 1/8 inch rivets in it, and I had 5/32 rivets. So I just drilled that out to 5/32. I'll drill this to 5/32, and then I'll just buck the rivet. I'll just form a head on the rivets just like it was original, except a little bigger rivet. So I'll put that together, and then I'll put a rivet in the I bought a new spring. This spring was totally messed up, so I bought a new spring, and I'll rivet that in. And then I bought these headlights, LED headlights. I like the dark look, so I bought them, but they don't fit in these, so the back end has to be cut out for these to fit in it, and then the retaining ring hold them in once you get them exactly how they go in there, like that right there. Is that right? Well, anyway, they fit. I've had them in there. And I'll put the retaining ring on that, and then that goes in here, and we make our adjustments for the adjustments. So that's what I'm fixing to do now. Pretty much straightforward stuff. I did these come. I just bought these off the internet. They have all of them are LEDs or the high beam. Across the center is a low beam. Then it has a light at the top and bottom, which they call park lights. But a friend of mine did these same things, and he put those as a blinker, as a directional signals. So I'm gonna probably do that, because it has a standard plug plus an extra wire for that extra set of lights. So that's my intent with that. So I'm going to put that together now. It's pretty much just regular work, except maybe bucking these rivets. I'm going to put those together, and I'll probably run that film at fast speed, so you don't have to watch that boring part of it. But oh, and the I also bought new adjustment screws and new adjustment plastic washers, or whatever these are called, which are supposed to be threaded. These came unthreaded, and that's 1/4 28. So I'm just going to run my tap through that and thread these. I don't understand why they came unthreaded, unless over the years these adjustment screws became different threads, so that you could thread these according to what the bolt you have. But either way, I bought new adjustment screws and nuts, I guess you'd call that, since it has threads. It's going to have threads in it. So I bought new of these, so I'll be threading these little jewels too. So, all right, I'll be back in a minute and we'll get started. I think I'll get a pair of pliers. Hold that. Let's try this. Maybe my hands will work better. Oh yeah. Here we go. this. I didn't. Alright, we'll put this pigtail on here so it'll go out the back of that. It won't go out the back if I don't. So all of this won't go off out the back. So I made a bigger hole, and then the grommet wouldn't work, so we're going to make up this wire inside here before we go outside. But it's coffee time. Finally got time for breakfast, so I'll be back when I get all this wire spliced in.
think I'll have to put that in there before I put that in there. Come on, Heather. Whew. Wow. That way. Okay, there's one of them. It is adjustable in there, and I gotta put that deal on it. Yeah, that deal. All right. That is hard to get on there. All right, that'll get me another clip I can get for one. This comes with a female, and I have a male. And so we will add a wire here. I need a new blade in this knife. See if the other end's any good. Might be better. Ooh, I don't know which way this goes. The top up. There's the top. Should go something like these. There. Alright. Do one, the other comes. Let's adjust this a little bit. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Tight spring lever. Alright. That's kind of even. So maybe that will adjust. So there are two light tubs finished. We'll put them on and I'll put the fenders on. So this morning we were talking about lights and we're talking about lowering the pickup. So let me do the lowering the pickup. And it set it pretty level. I'll set it 2 inches. I machined into the back end of the lowering block for the bolt on the spring to sit into for alignment, and then bolted it down. Moved the axle forward and served two purposes. It put the wheels in the center of the deal, and it also made it where my drive shaft was the right length. So I had two things come about with that. Anyway, that's you can see there in the background where it's lowered. I still like torquing the bolts, and I think I'll probably cut those bolts off to even all the way around. We've already cut them twice. They're that long. All right, so that this is the end of this segment. We'll put it all together into a film and put it out there for y'all to look at. Thank you for watching. It's all right,